All right. Says the live video is starting, but it hasn't started yet, so we're going to wait. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. So we are going to start here. All right. Have you ever noticed something and thought, okay, that was weird? That can't just be a coincidence, right? Because it happens to me all the time. Once I really started paying attention, it happened even more and more. And this is how it went this morning. Okay. Before get started with this, actually, I wanted to let you know that at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you how yesterday, day 2, went for me and how I'm feeling about this whole elevate my life thing. So, so something happened this morning that I wanted to share with you. Actually, a couple of things. Um, they made me laugh and made me very grateful at the same time and made me remember how I got started with this whole manifesting thing, learning to manifest what I want and need into my life. So, before I even got out of bed, I did my deepest breathing like I always do, my 10 very deep breaths and breathing it all out. And I meditated with my mantra, Vitality Rising. During this stage in my life, I have really decided to work on my mindset to optimal health. If you don't know that, that's what we're doing here. This is day 3 of elevating my life. And so my meditation that I do always blurs into my visualization. All right. And I see my vitality rising with that mantra, making me stronger and happier. And then I moved on to what I wanted to go into today, right? What I wanted to go well today. Not my whole life, just something today. And I saw my story, day 3, that I'm telling now, reaching someone, maybe you, and giving them a lift, right? And that lift that they needed, maybe perk them up a bit, give them a smile to share. And I thought about my day. I saw today's message landing where I wanted it to land, where I need it to land. I saw you smiling, and I saw the words and feelings kind of flowing, all right? And I stepped into that genius that Gary Hendricks talks about. Um, Gary Hendricks has a book called The Big Leap that is just fabulous. Go and read that. I highly recommend it. It always feels so wonderful to feel that emotional uplift when you make someone's day better, right? And then while all this was going on, I felt a nudge. Yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. I think it's God talking to me sometimes. Sometimes it's just my subconscious, maybe, I don't know, but I'm more in tune to feeling those nudges nowadays. But it does take some practice to know what's really a nudge and what's not. But it told me, open your phone and open Facebook. I was like, okay, before I got out of bed, so I did. Um, and right there, right on that screen, no tapping, no scrolling, no nothing, right? And, I will tell you that when I closed my phone last night, going to sleep, I can tell you, I know I was on Netflix. So, whenever I was going to sleep. So, when I opened my phone, right there, no nothing, no scrolling, no tapping, no nothing, is my mentor, John Milton. And he's talking with Brian Fry about, drum roll please, storytelling and stepping into your next level of impact, right? How you can impact people. And I smiled and I listened and I learned while they taught. And later, I'm making my coffee. And I always put YouTube on. I always have my earbud in, so I can listen to something while I'm piddling around in the kitchen. And Rosh Vasugi is teaching right off the bat that most people let their thoughts lead them instead of leading their own thoughts, right? And Wouldn't you know, that's exactly what I had already planned on talking about today. Okay. Now, years ago, I would have said, wow, that's a coincidence, right? But now I know better because coincidence is random. Alignment is awareness. And when you focus your mind on something, your brain starts looking for it. And this is a big aha of manifesting, okay? When you decide that you're going to do something like elevating your health, elevating your life, you start noticing patterns. Mine, the pizza, the snack, the negotiation in my head, the reset. And you don't suddenly become perfect, but you become very aware of what's going on. And awareness changes everything. Okay. Here's what I've realized. When I decided, not dramatically or anything like that, just intentionally, to elevate my life, my awareness sharpened. Okay. I caught the drift faster. You know, I noticed those nudges faster. And years ago, I didn't even know what manifesting really meant, but I wanted to learn. And so I began practicing the three habits that the most successful people in the world all practiced. Okay, gratitude, meditation, and visualization. If you study, you'll find those are the three. And when I started doing these daily, something beautiful started happening. It kind of felt like magic, all right? But it's not really. It's momentum. And it's your brain being trained to notice opportunity instead of just being on copilot, right? Or autopilot. And going back to elevating my life, I realized that this mattered a lot for optimizing my health more than I realized. Because if you wake up thinking, this is going to be hard, I've got to try this again, your brain looks for evidence of past failures, right? But if you wake up thinking, I am elevating my life, your brain starts scanning for strength and for support, for alignment, for even for tools, okay? So now, before I tell you about how my day two went, I want to share with you something that I'm so excited about for this weekend. It is a brand new support tool, and it's launching this weekend. I've already ordered mine. Not because I need magic or anything like that, but because I believe in stacking support on top of intention and discipline. This is an over-the-counter peptide support stack. It's three different ones designed to support clarity, metabolic health, and a whole lot more. Now, some of my friends who got early access to this little jewel shared a lot that caught my attention. They said that it wasn't a miracle, but it worked very quickly. And they said things like, it just feels quieter up here, right? The donuts stopped screaming at me. I'm not thinking about food every 5 minutes. I feel sharper. My mood feels steadier. I don't feel as scattered. I can walk in a room and actually remember why I walked in the room. Now, that's their experience, but if you've ever felt like your brain was foggy and your cravings were louder than your goals, your mood just needs a lift sometimes, or you walked into the kitchen and thought, why am I here again? Then you understand why all that got my attention. Because sometimes it's not about more willpower. Sometimes it's about supporting your body and your brain with the right tools. And if things get quieter, decisions get easier, right? When decisions get easier, health gets easier. You aren't fighting with yourself so much. Because something that I had to beat into my head, the right tools can very positively amplify your discipline. You know, I used to see the supplements and they would say with diet and exercise. And I said, well, why do you need diet and exercise if you have this supplement, right? But it is to amplify your results. Um, Now, and they don't replace it. You got to remember that does not replace discipline. Okay, so I realize that. Now, okay, let's get out of that. Now, a couple of things that I want to tell you about what happened on day two. Okay, I had a red wasp. I was walking out of the back door, and I had a red wasp kind of flying around. And usually I would duck and cover, and not even, maybe not even go through the door. That's how it was, until last. I don't remember whether it was last April. I think it was last April. We were at a cook-off, and I had a red wasp sting me, climbed up my shirt somehow, and stung me in the belly. Now I used to be really, really allergic to them. All right. So I was scared. I really was scared. But I knew that we had a medical response team and all of that kind of stuff. So I would be okay. But but it didn't do anything. It created a little welt, of course, and it stung. It hurt, but it didn't do anything. It didn't close up my throat like they used to. Okay, that only happened to me once, and it was scary as all get out. But I was very grateful that I had decided a while back to go through a whole series of shots to help with my allergies. And that was a hard decision to do that, but I did it. It was quite drawn out process, but I'm so thankful that that red wasp made me very thankful yesterday because I knew that I didn't have to worry about it. Okay, last night I my my hubby was making salads, and he made me a salad, and I fought with myself, and last night I lost that. But that's just the battle. That's not the whole war, right? So I'm just being honest. I fought it and I didn't do it, and then this is what happened. So I decided to get. I mean, I was gonna eat decent, so I decided to get a banana and some peanut butter just to begin with, and then I was gonna eat some nuts and whatever. So I got my banana and peanut butter, and I sat down and I opened the peanut butter, and here's what happened. You know that little paper sealant that's on there? Whenever I opened it, it was that paper thing was still there. It was pulled back, but it was still there. And I was like, I know Mike does not ever leave that on there like that. And it had peanut butter all stuck up on it and everything. And so I pulled it off and looked, and somebody had stuck their fingers in there and did kind of squished around in there. And I'm assuming at Walmart that they did that. So I didn't get my peanut butter. Um, and then a couple more things happened. Oh yeah, yesterday the termite guy came to spray for the termites. And did you know that? See, we were afraid. We had Mike found some termites in the trees, and we were in the shed, and we were afraid that they'd gotten into the house because that every I don't know whether it's spring or when you find all those termites in your house if you have the vents and whatever. Um, but anyway, I did not know that termites actually like trees much better than they like wood on houses. So that's comforting, right? Because the termite guy only found termites in our trees and the shed, not in the house. So that was comforting, and it didn't cost us a mint to get it fixed, and we don't have any damage to the house that we know of. Okay, so one more thing. Whenever you're meditating, and I know a lot of you are very good at meditating, you've been meditating for a long time, you're experienced. So this is probably not anything new to you. But for those of you who are just getting started, meditation, sometimes I need really good quiet. Okay, so I do my meditating in bed. Well, this morning, for some reason, I have no idea why, never happens. Mike got up and was brushing his teeth and making noise in the bathroom while I was sleeping, which he never does that. But instead of getting mad, I put my mask on, put my earplugs in, and you can use earbuds too with music or whatever helps you meditate well, and meditated like a dream. So remember, if you're having trouble meditating, try it. All right. And yesterday, my video of day 2 did not go live on Facebook for some reason. So I took my TikTok video and downloaded it and put it on Facebook. So it's there. Day 2 is there. All that aside, here is the conclusion of my message for you today. Coincidence is definitely random. Alignment is intentional awareness. All right. And when you start paying attention, life feels like it's responding. It is responding. So let me ask you, have you had moments lately that felt like more than coincidence? Where something you were thinking about just kept showing up? And what if that's not random? And what if that's your genius waking up? That actually, talking about that, I was thinking about the peanut butter thing and how we need to figure out the inventor in me is trying to think, how can we seal it? I guess they need that plastic seal on the outside of the of the actual lid, right? So I keep going back to how could that be better, right? So anyway, here's your genius waking up, right? If you missed day 1 or day 2, go watch them. I will try to put the links down there for you in the comments, because this crazy story is unfolding in real time with us, okay? The wins and the awkward snack moments and the nudges and the growth and the fallback and the fall forward. And tomorrow, I'm going to expose a little bit about comfort and why it makes things sometimes feel hard, right? And how to stop letting it run the show. Listen, remember, you have one life. Make it the one you're meant to live, the one that you've always wanted to live. I'll see you for day 4. Y'all have a great night.